This is Rebecca Bush with Live Free with Rebecca Bush. This summer, I've been taking some downtime. I actually just had a surgery a few weeks ago. I've shared a little bit about that, and I think there's always interesting synchronicities occurring in life. And actually, the surgery I went through with is called explant surgery. And a woman who really has stood by my side through all of this, her name's Laura. She shared an event all about explanting. And if you don't know what that even means, we're going to get into that today. I'm honored to be joined by Danielle Valoras. She is actually the co-founder of the Breast Implant Illness Summit. I'm going to let her introduce herself. We're going to dive deep on this topic. I am 3 weeks post-op. I've never felt better. It's the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, and I'm ready to scream my results from the rooftop as loud as I possibly can. I literally started messaging people I know who have their breast implants in still and just telling them how amazing I feel. One of my friends already went through with committing to getting her explant surgery, ready to roll, paying for it, getting it on the calendar. So to me, if even one person hears this message and makes that decision, or if you know someone who's struggling with this or any autoimmune disorder for that matter, to me, it's all worth it to share this information because we're here to heal. The heal is real. So without further ado, I am going to bring on Danielle Valoras. Hello, Danielle. Uh-oh, I think that it's paused a little bit. Hold on. Let's try this. Danielle, are you with us? Can you hear? Oh, I think she dropped off. Okay, this is the joy of doing things live. You get to kind of roll with the punches. So earlier I prefaced one of my posts when I was sharing that we were doing this podcast. Well, really right now it's just a live stream on YouTube. I actually am working with someone to export all the audio, and we're getting everything uploaded to Podbean. So it's exciting. It'll be on all the streaming platforms here soon, because this is the 23rd episode that I've created, and I took some time off after the Land Summit, went through with the surgery, and it's just so fitting that our first podcast coming back is on this topic. But I wanted to have Danielle on because she's the co-founder of the Breast Implant Illness Summit, which is actually kicking off here. Hopefully you guys can see this screen, and it's on August 18th. Today is the 9th. So 9 days, like a week and 2 days, y'all. And it's free. Can you believe that? We do this kind of thing too with our, Exit and Build Health Summit. We like to stream and give people all the information. And I want to show you the speaker lineup. So hopefully Danielle will be able to pop back in. I prefaced earlier that we might have some tech issues because I don't want to overshare, but there was a situation with the normal, house and internet connection that we weren't able to connect there. So we were going to try to do it on Danielle's phone. But until she is back with us, let me just review through her amazing event, which, I think Danielle's back with us. Let's see here. All right, we'll go through the website once she's ready to share about that. But Danielle, are you there with us? Is the internet working?
I am moving to a shady place. So I don't know if people are hearing my internet is out and my basement is flooded. And so my phone is overheating. So I'm trying to find a very cool environment right now. So if you give me like 2 minutes, I'll find some shade and then we can.
Sure. Do you want to just focus on driving and we'll share a little bit on the website about your event and then we'll bring you back on?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get you back on in 2 minutes. Yeah, this is the fun of doing things live. But let me just share about this amazing event. Like, you're basically going to be blown away by this speaker lineup. So first of all, really grateful to Sarah and Danielle for putting this on. When Laura shared this event with me, I just knew that we had to blast it out to our Live Free Academy audience, because for folks who want to live free and be healthy and get off of pharmaceuticals, live a more holistic, alternative lifestyle, it's important to, one, have that foundation of education and awareness. And I would even say I'm privy to this whole holistic health and alternative lifestyle movement. Yet I was walking around for 13 years with saline implants that apparently had been filled with betadine, in my chest for over 10 years. And I'm someone who cares about non-GMO and organic and all this, yet I have these toxic bags in my body, and it was creating this autoimmune response, which so many women have struggled with. And it's so crazy because I never thought that the really super random health ailments I've been struggling with the last few years could be related to my breast implants. It just didn't make sense to me. How could my chronic joint pain and back pain be associated with implants? I just never really I didn't know what breast implant illness was until March of this year. So I am learning too. And trust me, once I went down the rabbit hole, I was like, get these things out of me as quick as I possibly can. And so, yeah, this is a story that I've heard many women tell. And thank you to Sarah and Danielle for putting this all together. So a little bit about Danielle. I'll let her introduce herself when she's in a better internet connection and phone not overheating spot. And then her co-founder, Sarah, also putting on this event. Thank you, ladies, for creating this. Guys, 5 days of talks. This is amazing. Danica Patrick has been one of the most outspoken celebrities on breast implant illness. Really amazing that she was willing to share her story with the world and put herself out there like that. So that's cool. They got Danica Patrick as a speaker. And to all of my freedom friends, you'll probably recognize many of the speakers on this lineup. When I was doing my explant research, Dr. Khan kept popping up online. So a lot of good content there. I'm just going to kind of scroll down so you guys get a feel. There's 5 days. And we've had JP Sears at many of our Exit and Build events. He actually just spoke at the Land Summit. So Amber Sears will be speaking, and she has a amazing story about her explant journey too, and how she was sick. So just, wow, the speaker lineup is awesome. You can find this information. I'll put the link in the comments. Let's get Danielle back up on the screen. Danielle, do you think this is better now with the internet connection situation?
Yes, so sorry, and thank you. I am parked and ready to go.
Awesome. Well, I will let you take it away then. I was just kind of buying time by sharing the website, but no one better to hear it from than the co-founder of the summit herself. But before we get to the summit, let's have you introduce yourself, share with everyone tuning in. We've got 6 live viewers. Woo! And the replay, of course, will be up on the interwebs forever. But go ahead and introduce yourself, and why are you so passionate about breast implants and the illness in the first place? And I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, well, a little bit about my background. I'm a physician assistant. I graduated from Bowman Gray School of Medicine in 1999. So I've been in the health field for a while. I've also been in the research field for, or maybe 20, let's just say 25 plus years. And that's in class 3 medical devices. So doing all those things, learning all that stuff. And when I was 48, I'm 57 now, I decided to get breast implants. I had lost 40 pounds and I didn't have a chest. And I just thought, okay, now's the time. They look safe. They're FDA approved. All the doctors say it's good. I went for different consultations and found the one and implanted. And within 3 months, I got really sick. Now, previously I had an autoimmune condition, but that had been under control for years and years and years. And within 3 months of the breast implants, everything went haywire for me, from hair loss to fatigue to swelling to headaches to even just the physical weight of the implants were causing plus the swelling, like a thoracic outlet, like numbness in my left hand. Yeah. And, all these symptoms. And it's not like at that 3-month mark, I was like, hey, it's the breast implants. It took a journey to try to figure out what was going on. And at 48, I'm perimenopausal, right? So these symptoms I'm feeling could be because of, hormone changes. And everyone kept chalking it up to that. And it just didn't feel right. And in that year or two, I'm trying to think, it was 2015, maybe, I started studying functional medicine, which is integrative health. And the big thing we do there is we look at the timeline, right? We look at everyone's symptom timeline as far as back as when you're born and in utero. And when I did mine, it was boom, this all happened when I got the implants. And so it took about a year to convince me it was the implants, because that's the last thing you want it to be when you just got them. And then it took me about just under 2 years to explant. And so when I woke up from explant, and congratulations on yours, by the way.
Thank you.
May your journey be easy, and each level just more and more vitality. And I've seen it happen, and it's just great. So long story short, I explanted, and as soon as I woke up, I knew that I had to use my skill sets for whatever, defining, researching, doing this. So since then, we've been putting on different type of educational platforms, from lives to what I call there's another symposium for healthcare practitioners called the Breast Implant Health Symposium. That's in November, and that's purely academic publications, get the research, what do we need next, what do we need to get in the hands of the practitioners, so everyone can have a doctor, in their backyard, hopefully, that understands you have an implantable device. What does that mean for you? What's your trajectory?
Yeah.
And then, but Sarah was a presenter at our first Breast Implant Health Symposium in 2019, and I was just so impressed. And it was so, like, she also had BII, like, in our trajectory was the same. Our way we interview patients and treat patients was very much the same. And I was just struck by her intelligence and her caring. And so we actually started becoming colleagues since 2019. We've talked about trying to put something together for a while, but life happens, right? And in the very beginning, and I think in 2019, I was still dealing with some of the symptoms from BII myself. And long story short, February, we said, okay, now's the time, let's do it. So it's taken 7 months, over 2,000 man hours. We have assistants helping as well to bring this to everybody. And we really wanted to bring it for free. So, so that meant like getting sponsors. And if we did it for free, like, how do we do this time management wise and pay our mortgages and do all that kind of good stuff too. So I think the way we have it set up is brilliant. Everybody can watch for free. The August 18th through the 22nd. There's an encore day on the 23rd. So if you miss something one of those days, you can catch it on that 23rd. Should people not have time to watch or want it, I know when I had brain fog, like to watch that all 5 days in a row would have been too much. So you can purchase the event for a very reasonable cost. You can see that on the website. And you can also purchase another tier that will give you access to some of our free healing tools. Like I think it's like the first 100 people who sign up for it. And then a Q&A that Sarah and I will do as a group. So everyone who signs up for the platinum tier as a group can have a Q&A, and then you can send in your questions and we'll answer your questions. So anyone who signs up for either of these things, you'll get the summit today. If you buy it today, you get it today and you can start watching it today. And so that's all good. Or you wait and you can have access to the free summit, and like all the tools are extra valuable. And hopefully it will, when you look at each day, you choose what works for you and what's going to speak for you in your healing journey right now, right? So if you have implants, this should speak to you. If you've explanted, still having symptoms, this should speak to you. And that's what I know to say about the summit. I'm over the moon about it. I'm also exhausted about it.
Yeah, as a fellow event organizer, I can completely empathize. Like when we put on the X and Build Land Summit, or last year we put on the X and Build Health Summit, it's like, it is a labor of love, and your passion and your, energetics are flowing through, and it's perfectly crafted and everything. But to do something like this, to pull it off, is just, it takes a lot of exerting, out of you. And so we'll circle back in once folks start giving you that amazing feedback, I'm sure. But you guys did such a good job crafting the speaker lineup. I mean, it's not, I feel like it's not just about breast implant illness. Like you could also watch it and learn about your microbiome, or learn about, breast cancer. I mean, there's all these different topics. Like for folks who maybe they're like, well, this isn't related to me. I don't have science. Like, what else can folks maybe look forward to by checking out the different talks? And hey, it's free. I mean, why not? And then you can have access for the rest of your life if you can't work through all the talks. I mean, there's a lot of 5 days of content. This is magnificent what you've orchestrated here. So could you share for folks who maybe don't have breast implant illness but are struggling with an autoimmune disorder, or just interested in health in general?
Well, it's interesting you say that. So I'm involved in other groups that have implantable devices that aren't breast implants, and I urge them to watch it. I mean, it's free, number one, and I study something called psychoimmune neuroendocrinology, and you put those all together. Like, no one system in your body works alone. So this summit is the foundational tools needed to access better health for anyone. And it's really, like we cover, there's so much. I mean, per day, like it's, like I can't even remember, psychology of illness, chronic illness, not just breast implants. Breast implants is one of the chronic illnesses, right? We talk about somatic experiencing. We do talk about scars. We do talk about detoxing, but in a foundational way. Because if our drainage pathways are clogged, and we're not sweating, peeing, pooping, or breathing well, like, some people out there have that heavy sigh, or they have like this air hunger thing. Like, we've got to manage the foundation to be able to access better health. So a lot of this is really just good steps for better health. And then there are key conversations within each that are specific to those with breast implants, right? And what you need to do to be aware, from guidelines to the breast implant associated cancers, to the breast implant associated systemic symptoms, to the structural symptoms. We have physical therapy on there. And just, if everyone listened, they would have tools to navigate their own journey of health, let alone a healing journey. I think if we could implement good sleep, good hormone regulation, all of that. So yeah, without remembering all 65%.
No, I saw the one about slumber, and also and this has helped me even before I had my explant surgery, where the infrared saunas. I saw there was a talk on that. So it's like there's so many different talks, and just really, if you're interested in detoxing in general, I feel like this is really amazing information. But specifically, I think for folks with breast implant illness, they might not even realize that it's not considered a medical diagnosis. So like for someone who's never heard of this, if you had to sum up what breast implant illness is, just so people even understand, I mean, how would you even start, to phrase that? Why do you get sick from the implants? Like, I've done my research, but I'm new at this. I'm just a couple of months in. So what is breast implant illness? Just what is happening? Why are so many women getting sick from these, feeling like one of the symptoms feels like you're dying? I mean, this is pretty severe. This is pretty extreme. What would you say, to someone who's never heard of that before?
Yeah, I think anyone with an implantable device creates a response, an immune response, appropriate immune response to whatever the device is. So in the breast implant case, we develop a response and we develop a capsule around it, right? And there's a constant irritation there. That irritation creates an environment in which your body has to keep up with, right? And that's chronically, day after day, year after year. And so every one of us has a different, let's call it, load on the body: emotional, physical, toxic, all of that. So that plus this is part of your equation. And when we start to have different health changes, like menopause, that's a stress on the body. Like relationship issues, that's a stress on the body. Like kids, that's a stress on the body. Like, we've got to look at that total toxic load picture. And instead of calling it a toxic load picture, because to me sometimes that sounds so dramaful, it's an inflammatory bucket.
Yeah.
And and that's a general term. But when you look at the symptoms of breast implant, that breast implants can do. One of them is cancer. One of them is a systemic like symptoms. And I actually think it's like an appropriate response to the foreign object more than an autoimmune response. When you have an appropriate immune response chronically over time, things get dysregulated. Your immune system, your gut health, your liver, your detoxification, your hormones, like these are known endocrine disruptors and things like that. So it's interesting, right? Like this foreign object can create an environment in which you have to deal with it. And sometimes I liken it to like if you are lucky enough to have a beach house right on the ocean, you're painting that beach house every year because of the wear and tear of that wind and of the salt air and everything like that. But if you have a house like mine in Charlotte, unless you just get through a hurricane here, and flooding stuff, like I don't have to paint that, but maybe every 15, 20 years, right?
Oh, that's okay. So, sorry to interrupt, but I see what you're saying with the maintenance, but you're in South Carolina or North Carolina, South Carolina?
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina, because I saw that there was a hurricane that had hit there a day or two ago, and you're still doing this interview, even living through that. That's commitment right there.
That's why I'm in my car on my cell phone.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yes, so there's like the maintenance of like having to go in and like, keep up. And if you aren't able to physically, and it just hits a point where breaking point almost where the symptoms then really begin to express themselves. Is that kind of what you were alluding to with?
I think that's a big part of it. What's interesting is that shell of the saline, that shell of the silicone implant is permeable and does slough off silicone. And that silicone can be, and there's like 100 other adjuvants, like other things, other chemicals in that implant that can just make your body have to do something with it. And when our body gets overwhelmed or confused, it does whatever it does, right? And so I think that is the impact of all breast implants. It's what is your genetic, what is your environment, what is your situation like for you to trigger X, Y, and Z. What's intriguing is when you look at the studies is you have people with breast implants who go for explant. You have breast implants with symptoms who go for explant. You give them the same questionnaire, and everyone who has explanted, statistically significant, both groups improve health. The women who didn't know that they didn't say they had symptoms now have better health post-explant. So it's a load. And the question is it a load that, I love informed consent, right? And this conversation isn't about whether you should or shouldn't. This really is about like informed consent. If you're going to get breast implants, know the pros and cons and the risk. And so now the plastic surgeon is supposed to tell you everything I'm telling you today, right? And they're black box labeled. So if you have them in you, the FDA has guidelines to help you at least have a surveillance of the breast implants to make sure they're not ruptured or deflated or folded or capsular contracture and things like that, which is important if you have the breast implants. And I think anyone with breast implants, or if you know someone with breast implants, I think the summit, the information in the summit would be beneficial.
Yes, absolutely. So I can share. Do you want me to share the video that you guys have created on the website? Do you think that would be helpful for folks? I do have the link here. I put it in the comments section.
Yeah, I'd say just go to the link. And I'd rather, if anyone has questions, if anyone's watching now, or like, I'd rather, like, do you have questions? Like, how's your 3 weeks out?
Okay, yeah. So the very next day after explanting, I couldn't believe it. Like I've lived with this sensation in my spine and my neck for, I would say, at least 10 years. It started to be really unbearable in 2015. And I got the implants in 2011. And it felt like my spine was like a piece of mulch. Like it was like, this is what it felt like in my neck, all the way down to my spine. And it would hurt my shoulders and my hips, nowhere else. Like, I mean, I'm not like immune to, if I hurt my knee, like, yeah, on occasion, maybe from something like that, my knee might hurt, but it was a chronic everyday thing. And the very next day, that sensation went away and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is this from the pain medication or is this seriously from having implants taken out. And I didn't know this, but apparently implants can adhere to your rib cage. I didn't even know that. And like, apparently that's pretty much everyone's story when they get them taken out one way or another, they've attached to your rib cage. So it makes sense in my skeletal issues. So first of all, that was amazing that happened. My energy levels have felt better despite the fact that I just had 12 inches of incisions and drains put right here. My energy levels immediately, I felt mentally clear. The brain fog lifted. I was struggling with like the purple under my eyes and fatigue, just chronic fatigue. In November, I actually thought I had a stroke. Like I was really sick. I was having, like you were talking about, the numbness in my limbs, the heart palpitations, other neurological issues, which I don't really want to get into too much. And that's hard too, to share this kind of stuff publicly, because it's kind of like you're putting it all out there, but like who else might be dealing with this and just has no idea that it's related to their implants. So 3 weeks later, I feel like I have a new lease on life. Like I never planned to speak about getting my implants out publicly. It really wasn't part of my, to-do list. Like I primarily focused on homesteading and gardening. Like that's my forte, you know what I mean? But now that I know what I know, I can't not share this with people. Like I feel that I have been like, I have to do this. I feel like it's part of my purpose now is to share how amazing I feel now that I'm people are like, oh, well, you're the one that put them in, so that's your fault. And yeah, I am the one that put them in. Like it is my fault. I accept that. I made a mistake. It is what it is. I was 19 when I chose to get this. And I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the USA, it's like there were shows on the mainstream networks like The Swan. I don't know if you remember The Swan, where the women would go in and get like 5 million plastic surgery things all at once. And then they come out for their great reveal 6 months later and they look like a totally different person. They're like, now you're beautiful. So, I mean, there was this conditioning of like, oh, I was an athlete. I was, a sunken chest, a pirate's dream, as some people would joke. Like I was, made fun of for being so flat. And I couldn't have boobs because I was always working out. I mean, I did collegiate cheerleading and stuff. So it just was to me like something I needed to do to be a woman, to be feminine, So I made mistakes. I'm not, there's like this mental healing of like forgiving yourself first and foremost. And I'm there. I forgive myself, And now there's this physical healing I'm going through of like looking in the mirror and being like, oh my God, there's nothing there now. Like that's awkward, like I was used to have a little some. So yeah, 3 weeks out, I'm doing good. All things considered, I was so desperate to feel better. I was willing to try anything, at that point. I took out a loan with Care Credit. Once the funds were through, I scheduled the first surgery I could possibly get on the calendar. I felt like if I didn't do this, it was hard for me to wake up in the morning and even function. Let's just put it that way. So I feel a lot better now. My energy levels are better. I'm still a little sore, you know what I mean? Like, today we're driving to the office and the seatbelt was on and, the seatbelt gets stuck and you lean forward and it kind of catches you. Well, I went to do something, put my water bottle on the floor and that happened and my chest is still sore, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I can't believe that I feel so much better already. And I'm going through the detox processing and I just started ozone therapy yesterday. So that's been interesting. And I've been doing spirulina and maca and stuff. So I'm trying to rebalance my thyroid and all that. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I don't really care that I'm flat now. I'm just happy to have energy and not be tired all the time and have my hair falling out in clumps. So it's the little things in life,
Yeah, it is. And it's a process, right? And I think that it is a scary process for whether it's augmentation or reconstruction to think about explanting.
Yeah.
And, every person who has received implants and how I look at it, how I went through my healing journey and how I ended up looking at it for myself, we all got implants over a lack. Over a reason why I'm flat, I have cancer, and even though getting the implants initially I felt like woohoo, like I really liked them, I liked the way my physique looked and all of that, like it was still over a lack. And I think that when people have enough energy to take a look at that, not as in a shaming, definitely not as in a make wrong, but to be able to be with that and process the why, like the real why, and be able to deal with those emotions. I think healing really comes to that. I mean, comes when we work with that. And like for me, I had to give up shaming. Like, oh my God, like apparently I did this to myself and da 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 da. And then the forgiveness for myself when that happened, which was really only maybe a year or two ago, like a different layer of it, I was like, wow, so much healing came just by releasing that thought process. You can know it, but to release it fully in the body. And that doesn't mean it doesn't come up again. Like when I, look in the mirror or at 57, things are changing. And yeah, I want to fix it and I want to halt it and I want to do all the things. And I need to be able to be with that part of myself and also not be reactive and like I'm not going to go for the plastic surgery. I'm not going to, at least in this moment, right? And who knows what my conversation in my head is going to be like. And we talk about this a lot on the summit as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. And for folks who want to register, I know this link is long, but it's in the comments section.
Yeah.
You can register for free. You've got nothing to lose. Go sign up. You'll get all the talks, even if you just want to learn about improving your sleep quality or infrared sauna benefits or why you should, your diet can help your microbiome. And so there's like lots of various talks. I mean, it's 5 days of amazing presenters. So go check out the website. And I would like to also invite you, Danielle, just to share how can people keep up with you, follow your journey, anything I can post here. I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as Navwell. You also, if you're interested, follow Implant Health. That's on Instagram. That's more like the symposiums, the education, like the geeky stuff, publications, the speakers, the lives, the like all of that. And then I think I'm on Facebook.
I know, it's like I can't keep track of all the things, but
my website will have everything on it, and that's navwellrx.com. So, and I don't think I said it. I'm an integrative practitioner, so I see all types of clients, and BII being a special dear to my heart niche that I sort of encompass, right? So I see a lot of people with implantable device issues, and then I walk with them on their healing journey. And if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, or in North Carolina, I can actually be a physician assistant for you. But if you're outside North Carolina, it's more of a coaching role, an education role. I have a membership that is called HOPE, health optimization, pre and post explant. And then as a community, we all meet twice a month and, we go over the different questions people have and ideally educate and get them well faster. Dun, dun, dun. Did I lose it?
Oh, I was talking and I wasn't on the audio. I'm not very good with tech things. Okay, let me bring us both back. Yes. So I was just saying, make sure to check out her website, navwellrx.com. So that if you want to do the one-on-one sessions and learn more, join the membership. You're able to do so. And then, of course, y'all register for the Breast Implant Illness Summit. This is actually kicking off it's 9 days, right? In 9 days. So.
And a little plug for Sarah, because she's worked her butt off on this, right? She's under reversing breast implant illness.com. And she is an extraordinary human being and an extraordinary practitioner. And so, I'm getting a little teary-eyed, and just such a wonderful colleague and partner to bring this to you guys. She's also experienced breast implant illness, and reach out to her, take a look at her offerings, and you'll get to know both of us during the Breast Implant Illness Summit. So check her out.
Yes. Yep. So someone here. Okay. So Beth Bliss was also saying that she wanted more info. yes, please do sign up. Beth Bliss, here is the information. It's breastimplantillnesssummit.com. You can also follow on my Telegram channel, Live Free with Rebecca Bush. I've been posting the link. You can click it directly. But if you just want to type that into the browser and make sure you register for the event, we hope that you will. And apparently you can start watching. So the talks were pre-recorded. So if folks want to pay for one of those passes, they can get the talks now. But it's the 5-day stream where it's free is the August 18th to the 22nd. So, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. Well, thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us. I am praying for you. I'm so sorry that happened with the flooding, and I can totally relate. We had a situation like that at our house a year or so ago, and it's very, a lot to work through. So I'm sending you all the positive vibes and love there, and hopefully you've got some good fans, because we had to have fans on for like 3 days to dry our stuff out, and then it's fine. But yeah, I'm hoping the hurricane all dies down, and you don't want to mess with Mother Nature. So we're all here to heal ourselves, heal the planet, and cultivate deep relationships with one another. So thank you for doing that work in the world. Thank you to you and Sarah. I honor you both so much, and I'm so grateful that you're putting on the Breast Implant Illness Summit. So thank you.
Our pleasure.
Amazing. Okay, well, I will close out then. I'm so grateful to Danielle and also to Sarah for putting on the Breast Implant Illness Summit. You can sign up for free right now and get access to all the amazing talks. This is going to be free to watch the 5 days of various talks. This is August 18th through August 22nd. Let me just say, too, that there's a lot of great information on this topic on the internet. I learned about breast implant illness at the Next Steps conference. Well, John would mention this to me. He'd be like, hey, have you looked into breast implant illness? I even have a thread of us chatting about it on Telegram. I was like, oh no, mine are saline. That's for people who have silicone implants, not even thinking about the fact that the saline is in a silicone shell that was inside of me. But there are a lot of people who maybe are suffering in silence and don't even realize that they're sick because of their implants. And beyond that too, there's also a lot of autoimmune disorders and tons of toxins in our environment and chemtrails and fluoride in the drinking water and just things that accumulation of all these different things can really impact our balance internally, and then thus externally. So we're all here to heal, and I think once you explant, the heal is real. I've experienced that myself. So if you are struggling with this, or if anyone you know is struggling with this, it really has made a huge difference in my life, and it's only been 3 weeks, and I'm telling you, I felt different immediately. I also want to thank Laura, who helped me through the process. I'm going to have her on my show next week, so you can look out for that episode. And I also invited a friend of mine to join on the show. And now that I'm starting my podcast back up, whoop, whoop. And so she actually just explanted 3 weeks before I did. And it was so nice having a buddy to message and be like, hey, how's your healing journey going? And it was, you can feel isolated and alone going through something so, something like this. At least I did. My mom was there with me every step of the way. Thank goodness. Also, shout out to Kathy, my mom, for helping me through this. Just having someone by your side if you are going to explant, to make sure you're logging when you're doing your drain tubes, and having someone there to get the medications for you and even cook for you. I mean, little things that you don't even think you would need help with. I couldn't even lift my Yeti. It's like anything heavy, it was kind of hard to lift it those first 3 days. And I would say after 10 days, I started to feel like I could be a little more active again. But even like picking up my dog, which my dog's like 8 pounds, was a challenge. And like even bending over to get the dog food. So just having someone there to help you through the process, that was something I learned. And I'm going to do a whole video just on my explant process and kind of share what that's been like. But it's not a victim story, it's a redemption story. And whether you're suffering from an autoimmune disorder or kind of experiencing something in your own life where you're struggling with your health, I do feel confidently that this Breast Implant Illness Summit will have talks that will help enhance your health. So even like doing the infrared sauna last year, I signed up for HotWorks, and that was amazing for my my back pain and just my joints, and even enhanced my sleep. Like I was getting way better sleep, improving energy levels and such. Right now, I'm not able to go in a sauna or work out or do anything, they say, for 6 weeks after surgery, and I'm just over that 3-week hump. So I'll keep you posted on my healing journey as well. But I just thought it was so serendipitous that this Breast Implant Illness Summit was occurring right after I went through this myself, and I felt like it was a message from God to just share far and wide all the information I've learned personally and from these amazing practitioners and health experts and industry leaders, so that other folks can really hone in on the wealth of knowledge that's been put together here for the Breast Implant Illness Summit. So here's the link. Make sure to register. Like I said, it's free. What do you have to lose? Sign up with your email. If you want access to lifetime replays, that's an option too. Just click that link and you'll get all the great details. There's a 4-minute video as well with some highlights on what you can expect. Thanks y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Thanks for bearing with me as well after the Exit and Build Land Summit. I think my last interview was in like May. And then after the event, I just really needed to focus on myself, focus on my health. And I did, and I am. And it all feels very aligned and good. So I appreciate y'all. This has been episode 23 of Live Free with Rebecca Bush. Next week, we are going to have Laura Bowden on for episode 24 from Prior Health. She is the Breast Implant Illness Patient Care Coordinator. She is a longtime breast implant illness activist. She was on Oprah. She has been on other talk shows speaking about this. But most importantly, she's been holding women's hands through the process as they explant for now. I think really I wouldn't have been able to do this without her guidance and just understanding the importance of getting a capsulectomy and like getting the scar capsule removed. And there's a lot of steps that you kind of have to walk through and understanding like what it takes to move forward with this process. And she was there every step of the way with me, and really I feel as an angel sent from God to help be a vessel to heal women. Thank you to Laura for all your work, and thank you also to Danielle and Sarah and to everyone else speaking out about this topic. It's important that we all band together and heal, so we'll be able to give our gifts more widely to the world if we're in a good place internally and with our health. That's what I've learned this year. Surrender to the process and realign. So all right, with that being said, I'm out. Thanks y'all for your time. Appreciate y'all, and we'll be back next week.